Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Stitcher. My name is Megan. You can find me on Instagram as Megan_Babauta_ or on Ravelry as MamamadeVM. And as I say, you are all very welcome here. So a couple of updates. Not only am I coming to you a week early, but I also updated my Instagram to have like a nickname. They allow you to put like a sub name on there. And so I've added the Seattle Stitcher. So just the Seattle Stitcher, 3 words, and you should be able to look me up that way as well. So hopefully that makes things a little bit easier. I also have changed where I'm sitting. Behind me now is actually my stash of yarn and all of like my fiber art stuff. So all my Canada projects are on the lower shelving and all my yarn is up and above. So I just wanted to address that because I'm sure I'll get some comments on it and, you know, where are my bookcases? Don't worry, they're still out in the living room. My husband's going over some plans for a new job site, and so I figured I would not bother him and I would film in here today. So let's just hop right in. This month is Pride Month, and so I really wanted to do a big project and just start something that's like amazing, magical, lovely, wonderful, right? And so I decided to, what better than Thea Guevineur's Lady and the Unicorn. So I love this chart. I love this project. It's just beautiful. I did purchase the linen. So I know they have an Ada version. Essentially is what I'm trying to say is I purchased the linen version, not like I purchased the fabric separately. It is a kit. I think all Thea Guevineur stuff is just a kit. You can't just buy a chart. So I purchased this at my L&S, Threadneedle Street, from Denise. She actually has stitched this herself and she has it hanging as like a tapestry hanging on a rod in her shop, and it is just amazing. The second I saw it, I knew I had to stitch it. It's huge. This piece is 23.6 by 33.1 inches, and I by chance had happened to be just chatting with her about it because I knew I wanted to stitch this project, and she had mentioned that she did a middle start and that there was barely any salvage. So she had said it was about 2 inches, and that gave me all I needed information wise to start actually in the upper left hand corner. I like to start at the top and go downwards. It's easier for me counting wise, and also just fabric management is a bit easier because I stitch on Q-snaps. So I started this, and here is my progress. I'm not quite sure how well you're seeing this because I, as you guys know, can't see myself. I just film with the back camera, and so I can't see myself. So hopefully you can see that, but beautiful shading. I just love this. And I'm using my 11 by 11 Q-snap, really liking that. Upper left-hand corner start. I just used a little bulb, like safety pin, pinned 2 inches down and 2 inches over, and then I put my Q-snap on and aligned it from there and then counted down to start stitching. So I'm really happy with this. I love the progress I got. I stitched on this on Saturday and Sunday, and I put it away Monday. So Monday was just yesterday. Today's Tuesday. I really like it. I like the linen. I actually really do like the 1/2 on this linen as well, because the fabric actually brings a lot to the piece. Being able to see the salmon slightly through the stitches really does highlight some of the colors, and it's just gonna be lovely. I really like it. I'm using a 1, 2, 3 stitch needle minder. This is actually called a needle dot. I had no idea. I was watching, I know, like, where have I been? I needed to like crawl out from under my pile of patterns apparently, because I finally started watching Just Keep Stitching with Pam and Stephanie. Love them. But anyways, I started from the very beginning, and I'm in the 30s now, but I was on like episode 20 something, and Stephanie was talking to Pam, you know, and was like, that's a needle dot. And I was like, what? A needle dot? Don't know her. So yeah, apparently that's called a needle dot, but pretty sure it was called agate. So if you do like this needle minder, that is what you can look up on 1, 2, 3 Stitch to find it. So yeah, I really like it. And it even came, like the kit even came with a John James needle, which was my favorite needles. So heck yeah, I loved that. One thing I did go and get that was like an extra purchase on my end is, this is the chart. Obviously I'm showing you the back because I went to Office Depot, or I think that's what it's called. Office Depot, Office Max, one of those. And I got it bound together like a book. So if you try to get it bound this way, it's actually too long because this is larger than your standard printer sheet of paper. But the person who was in there helping me that day, they suggested binding it at the top. And so smart, it works wonderful. So I can flip the pages kind of like a calendar and flip over from there. And I am actually marking on my working, like on my chart. I did not make a working copy because I realized that with her patterns, this is kind of the downfall. So this pattern, the kit, was $139 before tax. And we have like I think it's like 8 or 9 tax rate. So that's quite a pricey pattern, right? Well, I also realized that the DMCs that it uses, which is awesome, I love DMCs, but they are only giving you the symbols. So you actually don't know, you don't know at all what you are using when it comes to the number. So there's no way to pass this along. So there's no way to pass the stash when it comes to this pattern. And that's a little disappointing for me, honestly. That's quite a pricey pattern, and not to ever be able to restitch it again or even to pass it along to someone else is, yeah, it's a disappointment. So I don't know if I'll purchase the from this designer in the future. I will say though, it's such a good quality and the charts are just lovely. The shading is beautiful. So I'm sure I will someday, but I kind of will just go into it knowing that I'm not going to be able to pass this along to someone else, and that, you know, $140 or whatever really is the one piece. That's what that one piece is going to cost me, and I'm never going to be able to recreate it unless I spend another $139, right? So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I suppose it does help a lot with plagiarism, but I'm in like a cross-stitching group on Facebook. Of course, a lot of us are. And I had posted on there, you know, like, how do you pass the stash on a pattern that doesn't give you the DMC list? It only gives you symbols. And I had no idea that that was like an outrageous thing to do. I thought it was normal for people to pass the stash because I watch, you know, a lot of Flosstube and people give away patterns that they're done with all the time. So I didn't know it was a big deal, but I think I really made some people mad. I actually ended up deleting the post because everyone just got into like a debate about whether you should charge people for your patterns after you finished using them and like how to resell them. But I'm literally just trying to give the chart away when I'm done. And apparently, big no-no. I don't know. Is it a no-no? I don't know. I'm not the cross-stitching police. I know nothing. Okay. So yeah, I'm happy with that. The DMCs are beautiful, like lovely colors. Nothing's too bright and crazy. It's just going to be so stunning. And I am really happy with that progress. So I can't complain too much. I'm just a little iffy on buying from that designer again, because I had no idea, but if you do run out of some of the flosses by chance, like say you're not really careful with the weaving in the ends or whatever, and you end up using a ton of floss, or you have a dog and the dog eats some of your floss, whatever, you know, things like that happen. Well, you have to actually pay, like, I think she lives in France or maybe in Holland, I don't know, one of those, but anyways, she lives over there, and you have to pay for like a whole pack of the DMCs to get sent to you, and that can be quite costly. So with shipping and all that, I don't know, that's pretty crazy. Who knows? But that piece is what I was working on for my start. And the next piece I pulled out, an oldie but a goodie. I'm doing this one on a 32 count Daubloon Belfast linen. And I am using the crystal, and this is Halloween at Hawkrun Hallow. So this piece I am making some alterations on. I will actually just be stitching the pieces that have verbiage in them, and the only one I'm not going to stitch that has verbiage is the mermaid. So there's a little mermaid over here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But I'm actually going to rechart the verbiage, the lettering up here to go into this section, because to me the mermaids were the only one that didn't make sense when it came to the chart. I just don't have enough fabric to stitch the whole thing, so I'm only going to be able to stitch like the upper two rows of the pattern, and I just think that this little guy, this cube here, will make more sense. So I'm going to remove some of these little pumpkins, fit in We Are Afraid, and just replace it, and that'll work just fine, and that'll be an easy change. But anyways, I pulled her back out. If you guys know the fiasco with this one, I was starting it on a 40 count, and I accidentally cut that fabric. So we don't talk about her, but I restarted it on an accidental fabric order because I did not mean to order this crystal linen, but I ended up keeping it, not wanting to return it, and here's my progress. So I did restart this, like I said, but I did get a little bit of progress when I first restarted it, and then I just kind of put it away for a while. I didn't really feel like working on it. I don't know if it's because the 2/2 was like discouraging, because it's really hard to stitch white 2/2. Oh my goodness. Why did no one warn me? I always see people saying like, oh, I hate stitching white, like white floss. Oh my gosh. And I never understood why. I was like, oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's just boring. No, sister, it is hard to get them crosses right. So I did end up, I'm happy enough with my 2 little ghosties, and I do have 1 more to stitch. So, you know, the more you stitch, the better you get. So who cares, you know? I brought down the house here and I did all the words. So I'm happy with that. And then I did finish up the moon as well. And this is the crystal linen, so it's sparkly. I don't think that comes across in the camera though. Hopefully you guys can see it well enough, but yeah, I really like it. It's going really well. This is a Mad for Minders needle minder and a John James needle. So I am really happy with this progress, and I'm happy with the changes that I'm gonna make. I actually think I might pull this one out tonight to work on. I'm not really sure. It's Tuesday night, so I do still have to go to bed early, go to work tomorrow, all that good stuff. The only other thing I'm going to change with this one is the 2 witches that are in the middle. I'm actually going to make one of them a redhead for my sister, and I think I'm going to stitch in the, somewhere in the apron, I'm going to stitch a VM because those are her initials, and then I'm going to put an NB, my initials, and make the other one a brunette. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and it's going really well. Yeah, it was just a fun one. I felt like stitching something fall and Halloween, and that's totally my style. My least favorite months are like spring and summer. I love fall, winter. I love all of the holidays. I love the spirit. I love everything about it. So definitely was my next, you know, I really had an inkling to pull that one out and work on it. So my next WIP, this is on a 36 count winter moon Edinburgh linen, 1/2. And it is Miss Bingley's Library. And this one I am stitching it up with the Classic Colorworks and the Weeks Dye Works, so the called for flosses. And here is where I'm at. So I did get quite a bit of progress done with this one. Let me put something behind this. I'm not sure how well it's showing up. If you're wondering where my needle minder went, I don't know. I moved it to another project, I think. I don't know. I'll have to look through my stash, my WIPs, and see where the heck I put it. So she's gone. I did a bit more of the roof line down here. I completed the stack of books here and did the back stitching on the books. And then I also decided to go ahead and just do a pride flag for my flag. I just thought it looked so cute. And I'll insert a picture if you guys can't see that very well, but yeah, I love it. I just thought that's super fun, and I love the fabric. I love how it's looking 1/2. I think it's super pretty. I like the variegation of the floss. The flowers are beautiful, but yeah, this one's been super fun. I love it. I definitely need to get back to it because I'm like so close to finishing this freaking roof line. I need to do the chimneys so that I can start stitching the lady, because I might do a couple of changes on the lady as well. I haven't really decided, but I'm just thinking, what can I do to make it more like me? And that might be just changing the clothes, making it modern clothing. I actually wear a lot of dresses because my work is pretty business, like you dress pretty dressy, I don't know. So I wear a lot of dresses. So the dress doesn't bother me, but I don't know. I'll decide when I decide. Kind of like the flag, you know, I decide when I decide. So who knows? But I am really happy with the progress, and I'm just loving the flosses. That one's a really fun one, and I do like my addition for Pride Month of the flag. I think that whenever I pick it up and look at it, even when I'm finished, I'll remember that this was like my first, you know, Pride Month that I was stitching, and that I have incorporated that into my home because, yeah, we really do love everybody here. So that being said, moving on to the next one, I decided to pull out Anne Thomas 1854. This is a Hands Across the Sea sampler, and I am stitching this with the DMCs, so that is just going wonderfully. I'm stitching her on a 36 count color and cotton spiced honey, and I'm stitching it on the tiniest Q snap ever, but how adorable, right? 1, 2, 3 stitch needle minder, but here is my progress. So I'll try to insert a picture of where I was last week, because I actually completely finished the rose. So the rose is complete, and I'm moving on down to this like goldeny yellow. I don't know if it's a leaf or a bud just yet, but I completed this little rose, filled in all of this stitching, and then did this little guy here. So it's going really well. Again, Mad for Minders needle minder, of course, love them, and a John James gold needle. So huge piece of spiced honey, but it's a beautiful fabric. I just love it. I have a couple of other projects that would actually look beautiful on this fabric, so I'm hoping I have a bit left. I actually don't know what the dimensions of the project are. I knew it would fit on here, so I started stitching it. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I just love the way, like, I love Love, love, love the way these stitches look. I hope you guys can see that well enough. I don't know. I'll insert a picture if you can't, but I just love it. It's beautiful. Yeah, so that is my last WIP of the week. The only other thing that I could not remember for the life of me if I'd worked on since I last showed you guys was my Teresa Kogut Silhowitches. I just cannot remember if I worked on this or not. So I'll show you guys regardless. I mean, who cares, right? So this one, I didn't get much stitching on, if I remember right. I literally can't remember. I know I did do a little bit. Up in this corner, there is like these 3 little ridges, kind of like a little party decoration, and I did do a little bit of stitching there, but I don't know if I got anything else done outside of that. I am really happy with this. This is on a 32 count Rogue Stitching Pumpkin King. I think it's a 32 or 36. I don't know, I'll correct myself. But I am really happy with that. A 1, 2, 3 stitch, or sorry, a Mad for Minders needle minder. It's a little absinthe man. Love that. Super cute. Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's just one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know if the fabric is right for the project, and it is super, super subtle. In person, I will say, you can definitely see what it is. You can see the candlestick that's here, which is barely legible in video or even in picture. I've tried so many times to take a picture of it, but it's so hard because this modeling is right where some of these like more browny portions of the swamp water. I could have been finicky and like pulled the darker sections and stitched with that, but I didn't want to do that. I mean, no, I don't want to do it. I just want to let it do its thing. So I'm hoping the further I get over here, this is pretty bright orange over here. I'm hoping it's coming across well enough. And I'm thinking when I get over to this portion, it'll be really like, you can definitely see what I'm stitching. So I'm hoping for the best, but I mean, if I don't like it, I'll pull it out. Frogging stuff does not bother me at all. I mean, you might as well unpick it and save what you can, or, you know, reuse the beautiful fabrics rather than just let it sit there and languish forever. So that one's going well. Super fun project. Let me just pull out. I made these little cards, and I've been doing this for every project, which has been super helpful. It's a 32 count. So I actually just purchased a little hole punch thing that makes tags, and then I purchased a small hole punch because I've been making little tags that have all the project info. And here's some more. So these are how I keep track of everything, and I just pop them in the bag. So highly recommend. Another thing I thought I could start adding on to these is the date that I started the project. So I started doing that actually with my Lady and Unicorn project, because when I was in the shop, Denise, she was like, you should write down, or, you know, you should keep track of when you started the project, because I don't remember how long she said it took her to do hers, but another lady happened, I mean, what are the chances of this? Another lady happened to be in the shop that had actually stitched the same project. She walked in the door right when Denise and I were talking about it. So crazy coincidence, but it was like all meant to be, right? What a sign to start working on a project. But she just mentioned to write down the date, and so I did, and I've been keeping track of stuff like that on these little cards, and that's been working out amazing for me. So yeah, I just have all my little information. If I order a fabric for 1, 2, 3 stitch, I just stick the little tag on these and it stays on there really nicely. So that's like ingenious, and it's super easy for me to stick these back in the bag they belong in. So yeah, that's going really well. I like that a lot. The only other thing I have done work on this week is my Flowers Feed the Soul. This is a Happy Mood point pattern. I got it off of Etsy and printed it myself. So I don't know what even to call this. It's not really a WIP, because if you guys recall, the only stitching I had done was an upper left-hand start, because that's where I like to start, but I had just done like one L shape of the border pretty much, and I'd done it 2/2. I'd originally started this with a center start 1/2. Didn't like the coverage. It was just too sparse. It just wasn't right. I don't know what it is. It just wasn't right. It was like too primitive looking for the pattern. I want this to be feminine and dainty, but at the same token, I'm using a 28 count antique white lugana, and that's just, I don't know, it's just not quite working. So DMC 915 with the antique white lugana is beautiful. I love it. I love it in theory, but actually stitching it up, I'm thinking it's a no-go. So I'm actually gonna unstitch. Mr. Frog is visiting tonight and he is helping me pull out this. So I actually did pull out my entire left-hand start, completely pulled that out, and actually restitched a tiny portion of the upper left-hand motif in 1/1 stitches. I don't know why, I just felt like starting that and seeing how it looked. But I found that you lost like all of those beautiful details. Like the little leaves just looked like blobs. The little flowers just looked like weird microchips. I don't know. I just, I love the 1/1 on this fabric. So I think I'll save this fabric and use it for a 1/1 project at some point, maybe a full coverage piece. But I think I'm not gonna use it for this, because if you'll see, I restarted in the middle, restarted this morning. So not very much stitching. I did my pot that is in the middle. It's 60 stitches wide, so I did that and then started doing the motif that is the like decorative floral motif that's on the pot itself, but I just don't like it. I don't like how much you can see through the fabric. I don't like how you can see the strands through the fabric, so there's absolutely no way you can carry anything. Yeah, it's just not gelling with me. I got this on my Nourish hoop, and you can get these needle minders from Mad Reminders, but I did purchase mine off of Amazon. So I think just a random seller on Amazon. But yeah, I don't know. Not my go-to right now. I'm thinking that, yeah, I'm going to take all of this out and I'm actually just going to put this stuff back in my stash. I'm not going to have it in as a kitted project anymore. I'm just gonna put this in with my other DMCs and, you know, call it a day. She's just not working. I don't know if it's the colors or the fabric, or I don't know what it is, but it's just not it. And so I'm gonna have to go through and see what fabric I think is gonna work best for this. If you guys have recommendations, let me know. There is a lot of empty space, as you can see, between the motifs, so I do think that a fabric with maybe a slight modeling or something might look a bit better. I don't know. It's just not, yeah, it's not working for me. I was even thinking maybe doing a variegated floss, that might work better, or even doing something that is like buying multiple shades of one color. Because I initially actually, when I picked this up and was at the store picking out my DMCs, I was looking at a bunch of different rosy blushy pinks onto this fuchsia color. So like just a vast array of pinks, rose, blush, mauve, those kind of colors. And I kind of want to go back to that. I don't know. I do think though, wouldn't it be pretty to do this with like truffle? It's a Picture This Plus fabric. This would be really pretty on truffle. I don't know. I don't know. So that's one that's iffy. I do have another fabric actually that's kitted up with another piece that I might pull and see what I think. But again, it's a pretty white fabric, and I love the idea of having a sampler like this on a white fabric, but seeing it, I'm not so obsessed. I think it's too stark. So yeah, we'll see. I will say though, love this fabric. The Lugana is amazing. It's a Zweigart 28 count. I do recommend it. It'd be great 1/1 because this 1/1 is really pretty. She is so pretty and so cute. That was my first attempt at 1/1 and I love it. So that was really fun, but just not for this project. So I'm gonna, I don't know, what do you call that? De-whip that tonight and put it all away. But we'll see. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with that one. But now I'm just going to move along to my acquisitions. I did get some stuff in the last week. I did also make some purchases, so that stuff will probably be here in a couple of weeks and I can show it to you then. But if you guys just stuck around for my stitching portion, thank you so much. I hope you do like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I love interacting with you all, so thank you so much for your support and love as always, and have a wonderful day. But if you are here for some acquisitions as well, then join me, as I say. So for starters, I actually wanted to talk about this. It's not a new acquisition to me. This is actually something I got off of Knit Picks, and it is really for an interchangeable needle set. It's just a leather case, and what I've been using it for is to hold my needles. So when I'm not stitching on a project, and it's going to go inside of my drawer, because I kind of have like a drawer that I put my you know, I use those Amazon cheapy bags to hold all my projects. Well, I kind of put those slotted into a drawer. I have a drawer that fits those exactly, and that's how I keep all of my WIPs that are like languishing. So I kind of like, some of them I've taken the needle out of just because I don't want it to be like wasting sitting in a drawer, because I know I'm not going to work on it anytime soon. So I've been putting them on here. And then the other page, I've just been storing my needle minders in here. And this is working so well for me. So I wanted to show you guys this in case this is something you're interested in doing yourself. It does have two really large pockets and then a middle folder that you could hold like some pens or even your scissors or whatever on this. It just has a really thin piece of like batting, some cotton batting or something in between, but it works really great to hold your needles too. So yeah, I've been using this and I really like it. It's just easy to put on my little rolling cart, which I bought a couple of weeks ago to kind of store all my cross-stitching stuff around the house when I'm rolling around and moving from room to room, and I really do like that. So that's going really well. The other thing I purchased is this is a Teresa Kogut pattern, Come to the Garden. I actually follow a lady on Instagram and she was doing a stitch along for this, and right when she posted a picture I was like, oh, I'm gonna go buy that. So I did. I haven't kitted it up or anything, so I'm not partaking in the stitch along. I wish I could, but I just don't have, I don't want to say I don't have the patience, because people always say, you know, if you're a needle worker or you do any kind of knitting, things like that, people say or presume that you're patient. I don't want to say I'm impatient, but I just didn't feel like kitting it up right now. I'm working on it. I just really love the pattern though. The only changes I'm going to make are the angel. I'm either going to chart something else or I'm going to make it a darker skin. This angel is very, very, very pasty, and I just thought, no thanks. So I am going to rechart that, and then I just love everything else. I love everything else about it, but I love the fabric. I gotta find this fabric, but I don't want to do a 40 count as well. So I think I'm gonna do a 36 count, 1/2, and those will be the things that I change. So I really like this. I also really liked that it was bound, like a spiral bound. That's actually what gave me the idea to do that to my other pattern. And so I'm liking this. Really good quality pattern. I got this from Hollis Hands Creates. And then the day after I purchased that, I got a little coupon. So I was like, don't mind if I do. And I picked up another piece of fabric. It's a Picture This plus 32 count Wren. Technically this piece is large enough to stitch my Come to the Garden on, but I don't know if I want to. So I just decided, no thanks. Once I got it in person, I decided, yeah, I think I might do something Halloween on that. I haven't quite decided. That's why I do have another piece of fabric that I might swap out, and it's a Picture This Plus that I have in a Kitted Up project. So I might look at those flosses that go to that and see if I like this fabric better. And then the Hollis Hands Creates, she gives you a little tag as well that has what is the fabric. And I really do like that. I love when people do this. So I liked that a lot, and I love the fabric. You guys know that Picture This Plus are my favorite fabrics. I don't know why. It's just the colors and the variegation is just beautiful, and yeah, sold. I love it. So just decided to kit that up, or not kit that up, pick this up because I wanted to add on to my little stash of fabrics. And then I actually purchased this a while ago and totally forgot to show it, so sorry. But I finally got a piece of Murky. So if you know, I've been slowly kitting this up. Oh my gosh, so slowly. The Witching Time of Night. This is a Shakespeare Hamlet quote. I did kit up the flosses, and I finally got my hands on some Murky, but I will say I'm not sure about this one. So this is a Picture This Plus fabric too, and I did do a 32 count, but look at how green. Look at how green. She is super green. So I don't know if I'm going to use this fabric. I had a recommendation because you guys remember I was having a really hard time finding this Murky. I could not find it on Etsy. It was out of stock on 123 Stitch for the longest time, and literally the day it came back in stock, I got an email and I went and grabbed a piece right away. I grabbed more than enough for my project. I could probably fit like 2 or 3 of this project on this piece, but I just I'm not quite happy with the cut that I got. Totally not 123 Stitch's fault, not even Picture This Plus's fault. It's, you know, it's a hand-dyed linen. You can't guess how the color is going to turn out. It's really pretty, but I actually think it would look better for a Christmas piece. It's just very, very green. It's not Halloween to me, so I don't know if I'm going to keep this kitted up together. Looking at the picture, let me take it out of the bag so there's no glare, but looking at the picture and every single picture I've ever seen of Murky, it looks more blue and like gray and a little bit of warm orangey, but you know, not green, like forest green. It literally, like if I look out my window right now, I have tons of trees, right? I live in Washington, so there's tons of trees and they are very green. It's like evergreens and lighter greens, and this fabric reminds me of that. So if you know, I think I showed this, I kitted up what is it, Hollyberry Farm, Christmas at Hollyberry Farm, and I have Kudzu kitted up for that, and I've kind of been thinking about swapping it out with this Murky because I think some of my greens might show up better on this. So yeah, might make a couple of changes, but for now I've got her in here and I've got them stored away, but I'll probably make some decisions tonight about that stuff. So that is all my acquisitions for this week, but I do have a couple of other things. Oh, you know what? I just realized I did get one other thing, and I just wanted to mention this seller because I thought this stuff was so cute. Oh, here's the Hollis Hands Creates, just because it was really good customer service. She's awesome. I ordered 2 things. She refunded me the shipping and shipped them together. How awesome is that? But I also ordered from a little shop. This is called, gosh, what is the shop called? Buffalo Girl Designs. And I ordered this little card, and how cute is that? A little knitting card. It says make socks not war, and this is actually a Hade. I think it's Hands Across Design or whatever it's called. A Hade. I don't know. But it's called The Knitting Woman. Stitching Mommy is working on it currently, and I found it on a card and had to buy it. It was only a few dollars, so random, but I got that as well. So besides that though, I actually wanted to talk about who I've been watching because I've been trying to incorporate in who I've been watching every week, and I found, like, have you guys seen the movie Step Brothers? Don't lie. Even if it's the stupidest movie you ever watched in your life and you'll never watch it again, don't lie to me. I know you watched it. And you know that part where they're like, do we just become best friends? That was literally me, because I found this woman on Flosstube, and she is the Museum Stitcher. I believe that is her channel name. And anyway, she has an Instagram as well. And I was like, we're BFFs. Okay, we're BFFs now. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Because I told her right away, like, are we twins? Because we look so much the same. Hello. And we literally stitch like all the same things. Everything she loves, I love. Everything I love, she loves. We're like this, okay? But she is amazing. Definitely go check her out. She just started her channel and she has 2 videos so far, and go leave my video now, go find her. You'll love it. And then of course I've been watching Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitching and been loving her. She is amazing. And I have been watching a few others, but nothing that honestly, I've just been obsessed with Just Keep Stitching. So honestly, I've been like binge watching them like crazy. Literally, I found their channel like a week ago, and I am on episode like 34, including the special episodes. So I clearly have a problem. But that is who I've been obsessed with, and definitely recommend if you haven't heard of them. I mean, I know all of you guys have heard of Just Keep Stitching, but hey, there's a chance one of you hasn't. So definitely go give them a like, a subscribe, leave them comments, you know, spread the love. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And thank you for doing this little quick catch up with me. So have a good one. Bye.